Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Bradenton, Kiwanis. My name is John Mullis. I'm your Vice President. Please help me welcome Matt Spencer from Lakewood Ranch, Legacy Church in Lakewood Ranch to do our invocation.
Good afternoon. I'm just going to open in prayer. Again, my name's Chad Spencer from Legacy Church. We actually just launched January 21st, and so really excited to be part of this community and see all that the Kiwanis are doing. Let's pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you that we get to see faith and community come together. Lord, I pray for every governmental official. I pray for every business person and leader in the community. God, I thank you that as we lift you up and celebrate who you are and bring your message of the gospel into our community, that we will see lives changed, that we'll see areas completely impacted for you and for your name. Lord, I thank you that this is just the beginning, even as an outsider observing how great this city is, that we get to see you in different areas of influence. So, Lord, I ask you as we come together in unity in one place, in one accord, that you would bless this house, that you would bless the governmental leaders, that you would bless the business leaders, and that we would truly be able to create synergy, working together to make great impact. And so, God, we bless the food, we bless this day, and we first and foremost honor you. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Thank you so much, Chad. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I think we're going to go a cappella on the My Tis of Thee, so. My country, 'tis of thee. Ready? Let's see if we got any word. My country, 'tis of thee, land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. That was pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, you guys can talk amongst yourselves. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. Rita, can you come up and please introduce our guests?
Good afternoon, everyone. Guests, when I call your name, please stand so we can give you a warm Kiwanis welcome. We have Pastor Chad Spencer with the Legacy Church. Thank you. Drew Karen, Augusta Mikes. Dave and Peggy Nothman, they're visiting from a different club up north. John Hamburger, new member, brand new member. Thank you. Thank you. Jim Everson, guest of Rob Rich. And last but not least, Jill Lilly, guest of Sharon's. Thank you all for visiting with us today, and welcome.
Thank you, Rita. Dave?
Hi, I just wanted to call your attention to these things that are on your table. They're actually a peel-off. You stick them on the inside of your car. It reminds people to look before you lock, to not put kids or pets in the car. And this is a working thermometer, so you can see just exactly how hot the car gets when you lock it up in the summertime. So pass it on to somebody that has young kids. It's one of the things that our Cart for Kids organization funds at all children's hospitals. So we had some, and I wanted to pass them out.
Thank you, Dave. Janine? There you are.
On behalf of the Governance Committee, I just want to remind everybody that in the newsletter that was sent out this past Sunday, that each of our candidates for the Board of Directors for the club have given a few lines of information about themselves, why they're running. So we would hope that you will review those. Remember that the election is next week. We will be taking nominations from the floor for any of those positions. So again, refer to your newsletter, and we appreciate each of you showing up next week and voting. There was a question, can you vote prior to the meeting, or will we be doing it via Zoom? For those who will be on vacation, my apologies, but no, that will not be an option. We will only be taking ballots in the room for those who are here present.
Thank you, Janine. Just a reminder, this Thursday in this room, Tiger Bay will be doing a debate for Manatee County School Board. It is open to all Kiwanians. It's actually free. Kiwanis is paying for lunches because Kiwanis is unable to, we don't have the time to do all the debates this year. So this Thursday, 11:30, if you have any questions, you can ask me or Octavia. And next is Mike Bear with Community Service.
Thank you, John. Good day, everybody. It's my anniversary today. Any other anniversaries out there? You know, it's June. Pretty good. I did a really smart thing. I married a Dutch girl, so every time we go out, she pays, she pays half. Is that what? What, is that bad? Is that bad? Her maiden name's Van Landen. The girls don't like that one bit. All right. Anyway, community service. Jay Hoffmeister, Mac Aldrich, and I, we went over to Prodigal Daughters this last week, Saturday morning, and opened up 5 boxes of a new playground that they had right there. And each box must have had 1,000 different pieces in it. But we put together, maybe 1/3 of it so far. I think we're probably going to need a couple more outings, and we can use a hand from anybody that can show up Saturday morning right across from Easter Seals on Bradenton Avenue. We could use you between 8 and noon. They made a nice lunch for us there, and we're putting it together for all the girls and the mothers and the kids at Prodigal Daughters. July 11th, Meals on Wheels Plus needs some assistance in the food for families packing. And we'll get some additional information. I don't know if Melissa Ferlazzo is here today. Melissa, she's sitting in the back in your regular spot. But we'll get some more information, and we can post that on Member Day. And one other thing, Manatee Elementary Back to School kickoff on August 8th. We can use a hand. Those of you that have done that in the past know it's a great event for Manatee Elementary, and will help. Jay Ellis is coming with his grill team over there. I'm not saying it right. I said the Good News. Good News Grillers. I said the Good News Grill team, and he gave me a hard time. It's the Good News Grillers. So I won't make that mistake again. But anyway, if we can show up for that on August 8th, that would be great. Today we've got a great program. I know we're being televised by METV. I've got the honor of announcing Matt Lewis, who's a principal at Stantec. Matt's a planner. He leads the Tampa Planning Office for Stantec. He brings more than 20 years of professional experience in all aspects of planning, from federal entitlements to zoning to capital comprehensive planning. Matt really looks at things from what I understand and has won some award-winning innovations in the Tampa Bay region with really a passion for the overall picture for redevelopment for a downtown area. Mayor Brown and many members of the City Council have employed Matt to really take a look at downtown Bradenton. And I think this is going to be a great meeting. Matt, why don't you come on up and welcome to Bradenton Kiwanis today. Let me know if the clicker doesn't work.
All right, thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Can everyone hear me okay? All right. Well, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me. Thanks for the great Greek food from Poppy's. That was delicious. And I'd like to talk to you guys a little bit about the city of Bradenton and its future. And I'm gonna bring you guys in a little bit later and ask you some questions. And feel free to shout out from the peanut gallery when I do ask you some questions, all right? Because what I'd like to get is our sense as the Kiwanis of what we feel like the future of Bradenton is going to look like and should look like. But first, what I want to talk about is how we can think about cities. Not just downtown, not just a neighborhood, but the city of Bradenton as a whole. Now, let's see if I can make the clicker go in the right direction. Ha ha. All right, so this is Bradenton today. And if you look at this map, you see a bunch of colors there, right? And what those colors represent are in your commercial areas. Oh, okay. Shout out in the back if you can't hear me. In your commercial areas, when was it built? How old is your city? And so if you look at the colors going from yellow to blue, yellow, green, blue, you can see how the city of Bradenton grew over the years. From the 1880s downtown in Old Manatee, spreading out, moving south, and then west toward the Gulf, and then eventually east toward the interstate. And the interesting thing about this is that you're looking at over 150 years of history. And in the course of 150 years, one thing is certain that's going to happen. That stuff is going to be built up, and it's going to come down, then it's going to be built up again, and it's going to come down. So when you think about how you're going to plan for the future of the city of Bradenton, let's not think about whether it's zoned for residential or multifamily, or whether it's zoned for offices or industrial or commercial. What do you want it to feel like? What do you want Bradenton to be when the time for not just your children, but your children's children and their children, 150 years from now? The long-term future of Bradenton, how is it going to grow over time? What's the mark we're going to make as citizens in Bradenton today? So, Bradenton, see, I did it. You'd think up would go forward and down would go backwards, but it's the other way around. Bradenton won't be the first city in the nation to have a vision. There's a couple I want to show you right now. If you look on the left, that's Greenville, South Carolina. And if you'd gone to Greenville, South Carolina 20 or 30 years ago, you would have seen a nice little city that was in distress from the loss of the rubber industry and textiles. And Greenville got together, I'm going to say in the early 2000s, and it might have been in the 90s. Time doesn't matter, a long time ago. Greenville, citizens of Greenville got together and said, we're going to do something different. We're going to be a better Greenville. And they came up with a vision for their future. And what they did is they said, these little purple spots on this map, that's where people gather. Those are the important places. And they're connected by corridors that people use to travel to and from those purple spots. And in between those purple spots and corridors are neighborhoods where people live and people, your largest investment is there. Your life, your future, it's right there all in your house. So it's extremely important to people. Just south of us is Sarasota County. My first big boy job in planning was at Sarasota County to build that map. And what that is Sarasota County's vision for the future. It's the Sarasota 2050 plan. And it doesn't look at things in terms of whether or not there are corridors and nodes connected together. What it looks at is different types of areas, conservation areas, farming areas, areas where economic activity happens, areas where future villages are going to grow up in our existing neighborhoods. So there are ways of thinking about the built environment, not ways of regulating or ways of determining whether or not it should be a certain type of thing or how many gallons of water is going to be flushed. It's ways of thinking about it. And that's what a vision is. It's a way about thinking about your future. One of the things all these have in common is that they have principles. that they're built from. Sarasota 2050 had a set of like 10 principles. Greenville, you can see 7 principles right there. The principles you see on the bottom right-hand corner of this map, those are Hillsborough County's principles. They take those into account every time they make a decision about their future. Are we affecting the economic future of our community? Are we consistent in our action? Are we preserving our neighborhoods? Those type of things. And that's what a vision does. It organizes a community around a common goal. See if I can go in the right direction. So when we think about our city, what is a city but a place, it's a habitat for people. It's a place where you live, chances are you work here, and it's a place where you play. It's where your life happens. So just think about this right now. Think about your neighborhoods. Think about where you go to eat, where you do your shopping. Think about where you work, and think about how they're related to each other. Your job might be in an office building near the interstate. You might live in West Bradenton. Your shopping experience is going to be entirely different from your working experience. And where you play is going to be entirely different from that in a lot of cases. And as you're thinking about those, think about how it feels for you to move around your city and to exist for those 8 hours a day when you're at a job, those 12 hours a day when you're out working, and the rest of the time when you're playing. And now I'm going to ask you a question. So, Peanut Gallery, shout out answers as you feel. What do you like most about the city of Bradenton? There's some ideas up here. Downtown, the Riverwalk. Riverwalk. We got one Riverwalk. Anyone else like the Riverwalk? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A lot. All right. Arts and culture?
Small town feel.
Small town feel. Excellent. 2 small town fields. 3 small town fields. Main Street.
Wilderness along the Manatee River.
Wilderness along the Manatee River. That is nice. What about the beaches? All right. Anything else? So, I hear 2 big things that we as the Kiwanis Club like about Bradenton. One is small town feel, and the other is the Riverwalk. Is there a third? I heard wilderness.
Business opportunity.
Business opportunities?
We're talking about the city of Bradenton, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, well, no, but I mean, where's the beaches in the city of Bradenton?
Access to the beaches. You're pretty darn close to beaches here.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the beaches within the city itself are less than desirable, but.
Work on that, Gene, get some beaches.
All right. Now, thinking about the future, a vision happens over generations. And your children's children will be facing issues that you're facing right now. It just happens. That's just the way it is. So in your opinion, what are the biggest long-term issues or challenges that we should be starting to face right now? Traffic. All right. I knew everyone was going to say that. Nothing more annoying than waiting in line, right? So, we got our free one. What's another one? Housing. Housing affordability. Parking. Downtown parking. All right. Homelessness. So we're seeing a cluster of ideas here is moving around the city, traffic and parking, and living in the city, housing and homelessness, which is, fundamentally what a vision is meant to address. How do we address where we are? our homes, and how do we address where we're going? Our roads, our businesses, our shopping destinations, our entertainment. Next question. Places that we're going. Of all the places in the city of Bradenton, I've put a few down here that are populars. What areas most need our attention today? Downtown. Downtown. Any others? Village of the Arts. You know, when we did the survey in the community, we said Old Manatee was one, and a lot of people said, what's that? Does everyone know what Old Manatee is? All right, good.
But isn't that kind of close to Village of the Arts, or separate?
We're separating them, yeah. Yeah. They're worth connecting, for sure. Yeah. All right, so I'm here in downtown in the Village of the Arts. Any takers on anything else here?
14th Street.
14th Street?
Palmetto Bridge.
The Palmetto Bridge. Getting back to our theme of getting to the places we want to go. All right. And then finally, one more question here. What are some improvements that we would specifically like to see in the city of Bradenton? Some of these are going to be reflective of a lot of long-term issues that we have. But some of them are more easy to do today. So, infrastructure, water, sewer, sidewalks, walkability, bikeability, traffic, homelessness, action on homelessness today in the back, drainage. So I'm hearing some flooding issues on 14th Street. Okay, that's an infrastructure, absolutely. What about recycling or parks? So when we think about our future and we do our vision, there are things that are going to be continuous problems. Traffic. As soon as you solve your traffic problem, a new one just pops up. It's like playing whack-a-mole with billions of dollars. Homelessness. You can tackle homelessness in a city. You can cover it. You can help a person. But as I've told Rob at some point, city manager, if we solve homelessness in the city of Bradenton, we should all line up for our Nobel Prizes, because that would be the greatest accomplishment in the United States. We can mitigate. But that doesn't mean you don't work on them. You still spend resources on them. So we sent these questions out to the community. They came back, gave us some responses. We're working on getting that information digestible to take it to our leaders in the city of Bradenton so that we can come up with something actionable that they can move on. We are in the process of analyzing all this information. In the next month or so, we'll be putting together a digestible form for our leaders to take a look at, decide what they want to do with it. And then we'll have a vision that we're acting on. We'll have a series of steps that we can take, a plan to follow to get to some level of a future. So when you think about the future, I always like to tell people, don't think about it in terms of a date or a number. Think about it in terms of an outcome, a desire. Think about it in terms of what you as a human want to live like, not whether or not you have 52 ounces of medium well steak or 52 ounces of donuts. So, I did a little abbreviated one. I wanted to get as much information, as much feedback from you guys as possible on what we care about for the city of Bradenton. So if there's time for questions, Mike?
Yes. Matt, thank you for being here today. All right, excellent discussion. we'd like to present you with the very coveted Bradenton Kiwanis Golden Ruler to measure the future success and the plans for downtown Bradenton.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Very welcome. You get it? Get over here. Thank you, Matt. I know we went a few minutes over, but again, it's a great discussion, and let's continue that discussion with what's going on. Please join us next week. Bernie Yanelli and Peter Kraft, Dean Kraft, will speak about artificial intelligence. And also next week, next Tuesday, we're going to have the voting. And so please, as many people that can be here as possible, please show up next week. All right? Have a great afternoon. Thank you for being here.